everybody, and welcome to GOVT, your source for political news nightly. Tonight, I have with me Riley Hoops, standing in for Mr. Ron Paul. Ron Paul could not be with us tonight due to his attendance of Barbra Streisand's first WWE match. So tonight, we will be having a short recap of the presidential race. We'll be talking about the results of the Iowa caucus, the Florida caucus, Super Tuesday, and Mitt Romney versus Obama, their opinions on healthcare, war in the Middle East, gay marriage, and the economic plan. So first, let me introduce our candidates. Mitt Romney, Rick Santorum, Newt Gingrich, Jon Huntsman, Herman Cain, Rick Perry, Michelle Bachmann, Ron Paul, and our current president, Barack Obama. So now we're going to recap the results of the Iowa caucus. Santorum ended up winning more counties, but Romney won the caucus with the more populous counties. The Iowa caucus showed who would be taken as frontrunners for the New Hampshire primaries, and then it seemed like it would be a battle between Santorum and Romney. But before we get too in depth on the results, we'll have our friend Mason Schroffnagel come in and tell us about how primaries and caucuses work. Over to you, Mason.
Most states have a primary election to decide who they want to send their votes to for nominee for the presidential election. A primary election is an election that narrows the field of candidates before the general election. Presidential and statewide primary elections are partisan. Local elections often are non-partisan. Primary elections are one means by which a political party nominates candidates for the next general election. First, a closed primary. People may vote in a party's primary only if they are registered members of that party prior to the election day. Semi-closed primaries are just like closed parties in that registered party members can vote only in their own party's primary. Semi-closed systems, however, allow unaffiliated voters to participate as well. An open primary is one in which a registered voter may vote in any party primary regardless of his own party affiliation. When voters do not register with a party before the primary, it is called a pick-a-party primary because the voter can select which party's primary he or she wishes to vote in on election day. Because of the open nature of this system, a practice known as raiding may occur. Raiding consists of voters of one party crossing over and voting in the primary of another party, effectively allowing a party to help choose its opposition's candidate. A semi-open primary is one in which a registered voter need not publicly declare which political party primary that they will vote in before entering the voting booth. When voters identify themselves to election officials, they must request a party's specific ballot. Only one ballot is cast by each voter. In many states, with semi-open primaries, election officials or poll workers from respective parties record each voter's choice of party and provide access to this information. In Iowa and some other states, they use a caucus to decide which nominee they favor in that state instead of a primary. The Iowa caucus is an electoral event in which residents of the U.S. state of Iowa meet in precinct caucuses in all of Iowa's 1,774 precincts and elect delegates to the corresponding county conventions. There are 99 counties in Iowa, and thus there are 99 conventions. These county conventions then select delegates for both Iowa's Congressional District Convention and State Convention, which eventually choose the delegates for the presidential nominating conventions. In the United States, Super Tuesday in general refers to the Tuesday or February of March of a presidential election year when the greatest number of states hold the primary elections to select delegates to national conventions at which the party's presidential candidates are officially nominated. Most delegates can be won on Super Tuesday than on any other single day of the primary calendar. Accordingly, candidates seeking the presidency traditionally must do well on this day to secure their party's nomination.
The results of the South Carolina primary election were not surprising due to the fact that South Carolina is Gingrich's home state, and led everyone to think that Newt Gingrich may win the Florida primary as well. But Mitt Romney ended up taking the Florida primary with Newt Gingrich in second, Rick Santorum in third, and Ron Paul in fourth. And now we have Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday is made up of primaries in 10 states with a total of 419 delegates to be awarded to the Republican candidate winners. The delegate count has varied from 437 to 391. Differences in the count are due to some states holding caucuses which do not bind the delegates to vote in the way of the popular vote. Also, 18 superdelegates from 6 states are not being counted for the same reason. The Associated Press's count puts the actual delegate count at 419, which will be used as our source. Mitt Romney won the following states: Alaska, Idaho, Massachusetts, Ohio, Vermont, and Virginia. Rick Santorum won the following states: Oklahoma, Tennessee, and North Dakota. Newt Gingrich won Georgia, and Ron Paul did not win any of the 10 states. Romney is now the leading with 415 delegates, Santorum has 176 delegates, Gingrich has 105, and Paul has 47. A total of 1,144 delegates are needed to win the Republican nomination for president. And now we're going to have our special guest, Riley Hoops, talk about the social issues from Obama's point of view and Mitt Romney's point of view on the issues of the troops in Afghanistan, healthcare, gay marriage, and the economic plan. And over to you, Riley.
Well, Justin, Romney wants the troops to come home, but not based on the politics or economics of it, but based on the conditions on the ground, and not fight a war of independence for another nation. Romney's views on same-sex marriage differ from Obama's in that he thinks that they should have the same rights while working, etc., just not the right to marriage. He has 5 bills and executive orders that he wants passed on the first day that he's in office that he thinks will help the economy. He supports universal health care, but not a government program in which would raise taxes. How Obama's views differ from Romney's on these issues is exemplified as such that Obama's priority would be affordable, accessible, high-quality health care. He also supports gay marriage in the church. He also says that he has started to bring home some troops and wants to be more of a support rather than helping them fight for their independence. The subprime mortgage fiasco of 2007 through 2008 played a big part in Obama's victory in 2008 and John McCain's defeat. But the recession as of late is leaving the Obama administration dead in the water for the upcoming 2012 presidential election.
Well, thanks, Riley. That concludes our evening segment on GOVT, your source for political news nightly. Thank you for tuning in, and stay classy.